Oh my gosh, dude. I love this movie. It's so good.
Oh.
Whoa. Hey, shh. Oh, Anna, our friends are here.
Oh, hi.
I'm sorry, guys. We're watching an old rerun of Battlefield Earth.
With the famous TikTok star, John Travolta.
Anna, I think I've told you a few times, I don't think John Travolta's on TikTok.
Oh. That's why I can't find him?
On previous episodes of the Film Labs, we've talked about the camera and the camera settings. But today, I want to focus directly on the filmmaking side of things.
Yes, and on today's episode, we are going to show you about the most important camera techniques.
Exactly. I'm excited. How about you?
Really excited.
All right, let's do this.
Maybe today I'll make a movie with my sidekick. Camera! Maybe today I'll write a story. Let's start learning. Action! We can be what we wanna be. Come down to the Film Labs. You can learn it now.
Movies, well, they're amazing. They have the ability to teach us so much information, especially if you're watching it from the perspective of a filmmaker or content creator.
Yes, movies are so inspiring that they can help us through our own movie-making journey.
Exactly. Now, today we're going to be talking about camera techniques and composition.
Film Labs!
Composition is how the elements on screen appear in respect to each other and within the frame itself. And camera techniques are the shot size, camera angle, and the camera movement.
Pretty cool, right?
Oh, it's very cool. But like previous episodes, we gotta call in the professional. And today, I have a super special guest. He goes by the name of Matt Waterworth, and he is a local producer, director, filmmaker, and super stud. So, let's give him a quick little call here.
Well, hello there, my Film Labs friends. Boy, am I excited to chat with you all about content creation and a couple of tricks that I can offer to help make your content even better, whether it's cell phone content that you might be making for TikTok or video content that you might be making with some bigger toys. I'm super excited to talk a little bit with you just about things you can do to add some emotional impact and make your storytelling even better. And one of those really cool things that you can try is something that I like to call composition. That's what's happening right in this frame right here. The way we're using this frame that I'm in and the way we're placing our camera or moving our camera or using some toys like a drone or a slider can really have a huge, really important impact on the story that you're trying to tell. So let's say you've got a character that's a major villain, someone you're really trying to look like a really bad, angry person, a monster of some kind. Maybe you might point your camera up, looking up at them, so they're looking down at the audience like they're filled with power and rage, and you've really turned them into a villain. And you can flip that around on the other side, and now you're looking down on someone, and that person is gonna maybe look alone or scared or weak, and that might be really good for the story that you're trying to tell. So that's just one example that you can use to really make a serious change or make your audience feel something about the story that you're trying to tell. So I'm really encouraging you to get out there, try some of these interesting different compositional techniques. Yes, do some of those more basic ones, like some establishing shots, wide shots, over the shoulder, but mix it up a little bit more and get into some of the more advanced stuff, like the 180-degree rule, or using a slider or a drone to come up with some really interesting and different shots that can really make your story feel way more engrossing and powerful. So I can't wait for you to get out there, try some things out. I'm so excited to see what you make.
That was a ton of info. He certainly knows what he's talking
Oh
about.
yeah, he does.
Now, with all that new information in our brains, let's go take it to the test.
Yes, but first, because you're always calling one of your friends first, I've called one of mine.
Perfect. Well, the more the merrier. Why don't we just jump right in and get started?
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, here we are at the Film Labs testing grounds, and we are accompanied by Anna. Hello, Anna. Today, Anna has called one of her own friends to help us out. And I'm very excited to show all of you the camera shots. So, let's get started. Extreme wide shot, or also known as an establishing shot. This is the most common at the beginning of a scene to help the audience understand where everything is taking place and to help map out the scene. It's typically done using a drone shot from a high perspective so the audience can see as much as possible. A wide shot is filmed close enough to emphasize the subject, but far enough away to show the location and setting of the scene. This often follows an extreme wide shot to narrow down your setting. This is a mid shot, or also known as medium shot, and it will usually show the waist to the head of your subject. Most of the time, a medium shot is used to emphasize both the subject and their surroundings by giving them an equal presence on the screen. Right here is the medium close-up. This is where we pay attention to what's happening in the scene and helping guide where the audience's attention goes. This is from the subject's chest or shoulders and up. The audience can still easily see the actor's emotions and facial expressions, but also retain some of that background setting. You've probably heard the saying, "Are you ready for your close-up?" Well, this is what they are talking about. A close-up allows the subject to establish a strong emotional connection with the audience, and for the audience to intimately see details in the subject's face they wouldn't see otherwise. The extreme close-up shot is most commonly used to allow the viewer to enter the subject's personal space, revealing traits and emotions that might otherwise go unnoticed. The frame is so tight that using an extreme close-up shot gives the viewer no choice but to experience the character's feelings alongside them. If you've had any experience with film or photography, you may have heard the phrase rule of thirds. Most commonly, if there is a subject in the frame, they say that your eye line should be near the top third, and ideally they would be looking into the other 2/3 of the screen. And here at Film Labs there are no mistakes, but shooting in the thirds like this doesn't get seen a whole lot. But lots of times people will shoot this composition to make the audience feel trapped or nervous because they can't see the view of the subject. This is the high angle shot. This shot can be used to make your subject seem smaller, even smaller than our young talent here, and make your subject seem vulnerable and powerless. And here is the low angle shot, which is almost the opposite of a high angle. It's often considered as the hero angle, and that's because unlike the high angle, it makes the subject seem very large and powerful. You may recognize this shot from a lot of the movies that you watch. Here we have an over-the-shoulder shot. This can be used in interviews, but like I said, it's most commonly used in scenes with dialogue in movies. This way, you can swap from the two different over-the-shoulder shots and be more involved in the conversation and perspectives from each subject. The 180-degree rule. This is important when you're shooting over-the-shoulder shots, just like the ones we just showed you. This is often considered a rule you don't want to break in filmmaking, but again, we're all about breaking rules. The best way to describe the 180-degree rule in filmmaking is to consider that both your subjects are talking on the edge of a cliff or a body of water, and it's physically impossible for you to film on the other side. So you have to stay on one side, keeping your shot within the 180-degree rule of your subjects. Panning is a camera movement where the camera pivots left or right on a horizontal axis while its base remains in a fixed location. The tilt shot. It's similar to the pan shot, but instead of being on the horizontal axis, it's on the vertical axis. This one's pretty easy. This is called a crab shot, or also known as a dolly shot. And here we're going to show you something called a focus pull. This is where you manually pull the focus on the lens, and this is used to help guide the audience as to what they are supposed to be looking at. This one's my favorite, the ice cream shot. Really, there's nothing to know except for after a full day of filming, you gotta go get some ice cream. So why don't you pause the TV and go ahead and get some. Well, friends, that was a great episode. I think I had the most fun on this one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining in on this episode, and we're really happy to be able to teach you all the techniques, from cameras to camera settings to composition to camera techniques, all that fun stuff, and we can't wait to see you on the next episode. My name is Mitch.
And my name's Anna.
And I'm Cage.
And
We're the Film Labs.
Film Labs!
Hey, Matt. Okay.
Bloopers.
Ready?
Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my
And... Okay.
Like, what's going on here?
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, action.
All right, we should have something in there. Whew.
Woo!
We'll quickly get on a break.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to my phone just for some